The internet is a fragile ecosystem with countless of websites, services, countless of people. Literally, there's just a lot going on the internet. Centralized with only a couple of companies at the center of it, be it Amazon, be it Microsoft, be it Google. These companies are the ones that are in charge of the internet, at least from what I've looked into. The internet was down for, I'd say, like half a day, if anything. There's been a large amount of applications or websites that were down, and it's a miracle to me that I even managed to upload yesterday, because at the end of the day, the fact that I managed to upload a video yesterday and I didn't even have a clue that the internet was out yesterday is a miracle to me, because I just uploaded that thing yesterday before I even went to work, which is immediately funny when you come to realize that, holy shit, what the fuck? You can't make this shit up. Apparently they fixed it in late evening during Monday. It is a miracle that I managed to even upload, but that aside, the internet going down is a big deal, because this means that if you only have a couple of companies at the head or at the center of the internet, more likely than not, if they fuck up, we are screwed. We are very much screwed. And this is where I'm gonna suggest and implore a lot of people to do not centralize there. Do not. The more we centralize, the more we're going to, unfortunately and inevitably, have an internet where maybe it's gonna be dominated by Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and just purely those three giants in general. And the thing about it is that apparently, and I just looked into this, Amazon owns 1/3 of the internet. And don't quote me on this, but according to some estimates, it costed them over $300 billion. Let that sink in. That is a large amount of money. That is basically, at some moment in time, a country's GDP. And it should be scary. That should be scary, because that means that these conglomerates, these companies, they have control over what we basically do in this case. Because think about it, right? You are posting on the internet, you are putting stuff out there, you are basically getting the word of who knows out into what you could basically say the void. Now, the real conundrum about this is that you only have a set few apps or websites that you use, right? Like Canva or Snapchat or even Amazon. And you want to do some shopping, and lo and behold, it's not working. Okay, you're talking with a friend on Snapchat, you don't receive anything. You're trying to see if they received your message, nothing's working. Canva, you try to make a thumbnail and try to, put it into your YouTube video and such. Lo and behold, it's not working either. It is amazing, because we are now coming to the realization that the internet being centralized is not a good idea, and there are only a sparse and few in between people who don't want a centralized internet, and I don't blame them. It's scary. It is very much scary. It's the equivalent of basically getting hit in the kidney, both kidneys losing function in one of them, and the other one barely working. It is horrifying, actually, coming to think about it, because it's like you you are, oh boy, it's tough for me to make a video about this, mainly because it's something that it was something like being a YouTuber. It's a career, and without having an online presence, you basically are not gonna have any power or any influence anymore, considering that Google goes to Amazon basically provides services, and Microsoft is Microsoft. But apparently, combing through all of this, having to go through articles, having to go through several videos, because I'm not a web designer. I do not do any sort of coding. I do not have expertise in computer things. I only select a few things, but it's basic. So my knowledge on computers and technology, as limited as it is basic. But the long and short of it is that what happened was that they have essentially screwed up with a portion of, I would say, the code, with where they're reading IPs and having to basically direct those IPs to where they're trying to get at. So think of it this way. You are driving on the highway. You are trying to get to destination B from your home. However, the highway is down. For whatever reason, it is down for now, so you're trying to find another route, but that also is down. So where do you go next? To another route. It's not working either. So what do? Can't do anything about it, because they're constructing, they're trying to fix whatever happened, and it is one of those things where it's like you're trying to do something about a situation you basically have zero control over. And that, at least to me, is terrifying. Because that means if at any point and any time, if they ever screw up again, and if they ever fuck up of this magnitude or worse, people who have been doing YouTube, who have been doing TikTok, who have been doing everything, especially if you are a person who has done airline work, because let's be honest here, being an airliner is very important, especially when you're trying to get to your destination. It is scary, and it means that if you have zero control over your system, you have zero control over the passengers, especially if you're trying to get those passengers to their destination safely. And that is what I'm trying to basically explain here. And that's what happened with the internet. Essentially, people who are trying to get access to websites couldn't get access to them, or were accessing them, but they just couldn't do anything about it because the internet was out for like half a day. And that is just all kinds of screwed up, because that means that we are at the mercy, at conglomerates, we are at the mercy of huge corporations. And worst part of it all is that all we can do is try to decentralize ourselves and try not to be how should we say, we're trying not to be as centralized into said internet. But that's pretty hard, because hardware for decentralization is expensive. It was expensive back then, like a long time ago, before the internet even became popular. It was expensive then, it's still expensive now. Unfortunately, there's only select few companies that have services that they can provide for said hosting, said uh, websites, stuff like this. There's only select companies that are actually willing to do it. And the worst part about it is that most likely not, there won't be any more companies that will be trying to do this. Yeah, we'll have to decentralize, but how are we going to? And that's the main question that I want to pose to you, the people, because all of you, just like me, are on the internet. We scroll through TikTok, we do stuff on Snapchat, we are constantly keeping up to date on Twitter or X, however you want to call it. Even grandma is up in Facebook doing who knows what else, probably getting fished. Who knows? But the main point is that everybody who's on the internet, if there's nothing done about it, then there's going to be consequences, and this is a result of it, because we're letting them get away with it, and it is unfortunate. But I personally think that we all still have a choice in what we do, and I implore a lot of people, if you can basically decentralize from using AWS or any hosting services or cloud services from any of these huge companies, please do make your own. It's online. You could basically do it yourself. It could be a bit pricey, but it'd be worth it, because that means you wouldn't be beholden to companies who are basically holding the internet hostage. And with that, I'll leave you with a bit of a question. Would you rather have a company have control over your internet, or would you rather have yourself be in control of the internet? That's something to think about. And with that, I'll leave you be, and I'll see you tomorrow.